Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Avax. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update on Avalanche, make sure to check out the top right-hand corner of your video. There's going to be a link to the previous update. Watch that before watching this one so that you have more context. And also, I want to mention the two donation links down below in the description. If you want to support Ukraine, then feel free to head over to one of those links. You can either support the Ukrainian refugees or Ukraine's military, or both if you decide so. And obviously, it doesn't have to be a large amount of money. Even $5 is going to be helpful. It is going to add up at the end of the day. And yeah, I just want to thank everyone for donating and trying to support. Now, jumping into the daily chart. So as you can see right now, we're having a little relief rally in the markets. Bitcoin is trying to get above $40,000 and the altcoins are getting a little pump today. So let's see, Avax just made almost 13% in a day, and it looks like we're going to be attacking the 20 daily EMA very soon, and I think we may reject or get rejected from the 20 EMA. This is the yellow line over here, and the red line is the 55 EMA. We haven't had a bounce off the 20 EMA since April 20th. The last update we had for Avalanche was April 26th. Since then, we went all the way below the $60 mark that I gave you in the last video as a support level. And we did go a bit lower than that. As you can see, we had a couple of candles below the first fib level over here, which was the previous all-time high that we had back in February of last year. Let me actually get this properly set up. There we go. So we did go slightly below that. This is the whole fib. Obviously, we have our swing lows back here during the summer of 2021. Avax has been on a roll ever since, and right now what we have done is we essentially back tested this area of support and we're bouncing up from here. We've done that back at the end of January, and we're doing that once again here. But will we be able to break through key resistance levels? Now, one of those resistance levels is obviously the 20 EMA, so you want to get back above it and back test it as support, hopefully, and then you can just consolidate in between the 55 and the 20 EMAs. That would be very healthy, and that would set us up for another leg up down the line. Now, what could also happen is we could get rejected from the 55 EMA or from the previous support of this little ascending triangle that we had. Well, not really an ascending triangle, because we've had these price action movements above the resistance over here, but still this was a diagonal support trend line that we've held for a couple of months here. We lost it over here April 21st, and we haven't had a back test of resistance. So what I think is this could be potentially our back test of resistance. We might have this breakthrough of the 20, potentially the 55, then we run into the yellow resistance now trend line and come back down for support, and that would potentially create a higher low here, essentially starting a potential uptrend, right? For an uptrend, you need higher highs and higher lows, but obviously we do not know if that is going to happen, but we are going to take a look at all the indicators to potentially see what is going to happen. And just keep in mind, I'm not here to tell you the future. I'm here to prepare you for both outcomes. So still, $60 is your support level to keep an eye on. We may very well land on that zone, on that level once again. So $60.60 is your support area. And you can see that we were very overextended from the 20 EMA. This is where the 20 EMA was, and this is where we were, right? So you're very far away, and I always tell you when that happens, expect a relief rally and expect at least a bounce off the 20 EMA. So if you enter it off of this support that I gave you at $60.50, you're up right now 10%, and till the 20 EMA, that's almost 15% of profit. But obviously, if you're buying for the long term, you don't need to worry about these short to mid-term price action trades that you could get, swing trades. What am I saying? So potentially, if you entered here as well, you could look for a back test of resistance of the top yellow trend line. That would be a 32% trade. Or you can go over all the way up to the 1.272, and that would be a 65.1% trade. That is at $100 for Avax. Now, zooming out just a little bit so that we can see our long-term targets, we have the 1.618 at $191.50. That's something that I'm going to be targeting because that is the 1.618 fib level, and that's the technical target after you start breaking above the first fib level, and that's what we've done here. We came back to test it, and now we are above the first fib level. Obviously, there are a couple of hurdles along the way, but usually you do get to the 1.618 after you break the first fib level. But as always, it is all up to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin decides to spoil the party for the altcoins and, drops down, then, that's going to be it for a couple of months at least. We're going to enter the, so to speak, bear market. Some people think that we are in the bear market right now, but not quite. I'm going to be dropping a Bitcoin technical analysis on my Patreon, so if you want to check that out, the link is down below in the description. Now, moving over to the daily RSI, looks a bit confusing, but that's only on the first glance. If you take a look at the red trend lines, you have a large symmetrical triangle over here, as you can see. That is your symmetrical triangle, and usually you have a break once you get closer to the apex, so either to the downside or to the upside. There is really no bias. The white trend lines represented a descending triangle here with lower highs, as you can see, and with this support trend line with one fake out over here, and you did end up dropping back down to the oversold once again, and I did talk about that in the previous video. And we got all the way down here, and this is when I tell you is the best time to be buying your assets, because once the asset is oversold, the move to the upside is usually pretty quick, pretty sudden, and that's exactly what's happening right now. So potentially look for some resistance on this white trend line. This is where you may run into resistance, come back down potentially to test support, and then potentially break to the upside if Bitcoin allows us to do so. So draw this out on your charts. It's not really hard. Just take some trend lines and draw them over the chart. Now let's jump into the Binance website. Moving over to the daily chart on the Binance website, we have a different fib retracement here with the swing low here March 14th. The swing high, April 2nd, we have the 1.272 sitting at $57, almost $58. I did give you this in the last video, and I also gave you the 1.618 target, which we can still get to. This may be a backtest resistance of the 20 MA, and we are going to print a lower low here. As you can see, this is potentially what is going to happen because, as always, you tend to come to the 1.618 after you break through the first fib level here. The targets or the extension levels are set to the downside, so obviously you broke down, you back tested a support level, came back for resistance, and you get sent right back down. So still, this is not off the plate completely. I would flip bullish once we broke through the golden ratio here, right? $78. Once you break through the 0.618 and back test it as support, at that point, you have more confidence that you're going to retrace all the way to the swing high here. But until that happens, if you get rejected from the 55 or from the golden ratio itself, you are more likely than not going to start coming back lower and potentially get to the 1.618 target, okay? And now let's jump into some of the oscillators. There's a different trend line here set for the daily RSI. As you can see, we dropped back down to the oversold here, and now we're breaking through this resistance. There are two touches of this trend line previously. Okay, and two touches of support and one touch of resistance here. We lost it, back tested as resistance, went all the way down here, and now we're breaking through. So what I would look for is a back test of support if you want to enter, right? This is where I would look for entries for Avax, because as you can see, you're getting pretty excited here with this impulsive move. So you potentially can go even higher, obviously, but still I would look for a back test of support of this white trend line. Now let's take a look at the MACD. So the MACD, the moving average is curling up for a bullish cross with the red signal line below the histogram, and this is a very bullish sign. The last time this happened, as you can see, was back in the middle of March, and we saw that nice appreciation. And this is what could potentially happen here. If we get the bullish cross, that would be your confirmation of the uptrend. So that is pretty much it for Avax. You have a couple of targets to the upside here: $78 at the golden ratio, $82.50, the 0.5. You have the 0.382 at $87, the 0.236 at $93, and the swing high over here at $103.50. So that's pretty much it. If I missed out anything, let me know down below in the comment section. Feel free to follow me on Patreon. It's a great way to support me, a great way for you to get more exclusive content. Leave suggestions, leave your requests for videos, for TAs. I do drop in TAs over there almost every day. We have low cap gem calls, project reviews, buy and sell alerts, and all that type of stuff. So I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Peace out.